Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I am currently in a park again because I find it to be very peaceful just to be surrounded by greens, and you will see a lot of people walking, passing by, and look at me again. Today, I would like to have a little bit of chat again. We'll definitely answer some of questions that you posted. The first question is from Dania Sajat. I'm not sure if you have already answered this in previous videos, but which translation apps do you use in China? I use Pleco. I don't know if you can see. So this is basically Pleco dictionary where you can find basic vocabularies from English to Chinese, and Chinese to English. And the second one is Youdao. You can definitely use this to use for longer translation. For example, you want to say something in a full sentence, you can definitely use a thing that you can record right here to speak in Chinese, and you can use here the button to actually use that in English. It has better grammar when it comes to translation. You can also type here in this part. If you have any other suggestion what sort of translation app that people should use, please comment down below. The second question is from Ben Y. You are always so positive, which is excellent. What VPN do you use? I use this VPN. It's called ExpressVPN right here. So I've tried several others, but this is the one that I always go back to. I've been using it for over a year now, and it's reliable because the firewall, the internet blockage in China, it's quite strong, so I need a reliable VPN. I have my link down below, you can check it out. Okay, the next question. Why don't you go teach English in Chiang Mai, Thailand, or Vietnam? Wishing you all the best. Thank you very much. I personally don't quite fancy Thailand when it comes to traveling or probably staying because it's located very close to my home country, which is Indonesia. I think after living in China, I would like to stay in a country that is far from my home country. Next question is from Lady Irina. She says, what kind of visa do you have? I have working visa. From work visa, I changed my work visa into residence permit, which allows me to actually stay for a year. Every year you can actually extend. Regards to that, you have to have a sponsor, a company that would like to sponsor you for that type of visa. The next question is from Asbu. Did you live in a major English-speaking country for a few years? Thank you for that. I'll take it as a compliment, but I have never been to any English-speaking countries, let alone live there, so that's not probably the reason why. I do like English very much, so I think I try to mimic so much of the pronunciation of American, of British, so that I can lose my Indonesian accent. If I'm surrounded by American, my accent will become American because I absorb what I'm listening. And if I'm surrounded by Chinese people like how I am, my English is deteriorating, which means the quality of my English, I feel like it's like decreasing because I use Chinese more than I use English on a daily basis. The next question is from Bruce W. So he says, which country you will love to live? To be honest, I haven't even thought of it. I never actually choose specific country to live, but I would love to live in an English-speaking countries. It's not so much about choosing which countries, because when it comes to living legally in a specific countries, you have to understand that there are plenty of procedures or something like paperwork so that you can live legally, and that alone will take a lot of time. Next question is from Max Hunter. He says, my question is, when you decide to get married, please consider me. I mean, my question. To be honest, a lot of my friends, even my cousin, has decided to get married for the past 2 years, a year. So I've missed a lot of weddings and stuff like that. But to be honest, for me, myself, I haven't thought of it, and I think it will happen when it happens. The next question is from Robert Lam. Hi Shifa, sad to hear you're leaving China. Please keep us informed where next. Okay, so this is the type of question that I get quite a lot, asking where am I going next. To be honest, I don't know yet. Definitely at the end of May, I will be going to Yunnan province. We'll be traveling a little bit, and then we'll be flying back to home. Probably we'll be having a transit in Kuala Lumpur to shoot a video about food because I love food. And probably we'll be staying a month or two in Indonesia to catch up with my families and friends. Other than that, I don't know yet. Okay, the next question is from Azizan Zaki. Please share some tips to travel alone in China. That's gonna be a whole different video by itself. I think it can be quite tricky if you have never been to China, but yeah, I should make a video by itself. So thanks for asking. Next question is from Ji Sun. How can a person adapt to a whole new culture, lifestyle of a different nation? How can one adapt or at least avoid the effects of cultural shock to any extent? I don't have any specific answer to that. The only thing that I can think of is, it sounds very cliche, I know, but how you can be accepting to what is different from what you're used to be. You know, what you're so familiar back home in your home country, it doesn't mean that it's the only way to do things in life. You know, in other places people do things differently, and it doesn't mean also they're better or you're better. It's not about that. And not take everything too personally, I would say. It's just part of living in different countries. It may take you some time to absorb, to be okay with it. Next question is from Muhammad Amin Hakim Din. Hi Shifa, nice video, thank you. You live China, how is the weather? Okay, so the weather in China, it varies differently depending on where you live, right? Depending on where you live. For example, I live in the north, which means I have more extreme or drastic change when it comes to the weather. I have 4 different seasons. I mean, I'm experiencing 4 different seasons, from winter, summer, spring to the autumn. If you live in the southern part of China, even it's during the winter time, it's not so cold, but it can be so humid and could be quite tropical. China is huge. Next question is from Karima Jibril. Hi Karima, how long does it take you to get used to a new place? I'm quite used to traveling by myself, so when it comes to that, I rely so much on myself, trying to memorize where I am located, and so I can navigate myself a little bit. At the end of the day, of course, you will need locals' help, even though sometimes there's a huge language barrier. I also use Google Maps if I travel to any countries that allows me to use Google Maps. Also, there's this one offline app that you can download so that you can use it without an internet. I think it's called maps.me. Yeah, that's quite helpful. But also she says, does Google Map work in a small cities you visit? Because I get lost really easily. Okay, it depends. If you're talking about China, Google is not working here. Google doesn't actually help anything. Even the Google Maps is so outdated. So yeah, you can't use Google in China, anything related to Google. That in itself, you have to use VPN. But if you're traveling to any other countries, for sure, sometimes it may not be so comprehensive, but it will be able to help you around a little bit to find a major roads, major attraction, things like that. The next question is from Maydi Mo. Hi Maydi, hi. She asked, would you ever work and stay in Jakarta? I was born and have lived in Jakarta throughout my whole life. I worked in Jakarta for as long as I remember. I really would like to go abroad and live abroad because I want to experience something more than just living in my own hometown, you know. She asked, or would you like to work overseas? Yeah, for sure I would like to work overseas, but I don't think teaching English is a sustainable career. No offense to any one of you who is a teacher. I do enjoy teaching very much. However, I do also enjoy some other things as well. So I'm still in between of trying to go back to my old career or do YouTube for full time. But as of now, teaching English has been helpful so much to help me to experience living abroad for the first time in China. Vera Rama. Traveling to the USA, especially California, on your bucket list? I used to be dreaming so much about going to the USA, but with the current situation and the current politics, with the current presidency, I think it's quite unstable. And it's not that I'm saying it's unsafe. I just don't think USA is a priority as of now, priority in terms of destination, because I think there are so many countries that I would love to visit, and USA is not the priority. The next question is from Putra Aceh. What country exactly you want to be as for now? Probably I'll be traveling a little bit around Indonesia to show you a little bit more of my home country, the food, and probably a little bit of the culture because a lot of people only know about Bali, not so much about Indonesia. But other than that, I really would like to travel to South Asia. But yeah, it's still not decided yet. Okay, the next question is from Mani Purple. Hi, my questions are why did you choose China? How did you learn basic Chinese to communicate with the local? Why did I choose China? I didn't choose China. The job offer came, and at that time, I was really open to any kind of opportunities. And how did I learn basic Chinese to communicate? I do because I'm exposed to Chinese language every single day basis, on day-to-day basis, and especially living in a smaller city like Incheon, I don't get to be able to speak any English to anyone other than other English teachers. I do learn through interactive listening, if that makes any sense. I used to study Mandarin back in the university, but I kind of forgot. I basically just listened and tried to understand what people are actually talking about and in what sort of circumstances that this sentences or phrase is being used. So I am now able to actually have a basic conversation to a taxi driver or to a street food vendor. The next two questions will be from Ahmad Raza Yassin, which is part of my Patreon supporter. How did you handle the cold weather, as Indonesians generally do not like cold weather? First, I didn't know, but later I was told that I had to layer the clothes. There's a clothing that really retain your body heat, also the outer, and then another sweater, and then coat, so things like that. I think layering is the key. The next question that he asked, is it true that younger Chinese generation or kids are spoiled and naughty? Yeah, okay, this is based on my experience. I had a one China policy, which means that every single family was only allowed to have one kid. As of now, they don't actually practice that anymore. However, still, kid in China is the center of the universe. From the parents to the grandmother, the grandfather, to the point where sometimes they would allow the child to be misbehaving and they don't actually discipline them. Not all Chinese parents are like that. The next question is from Faisal Yahya. Where you get money to travel? Okay, so first, work full-time here in China as an English teacher, and I save a lot of my salary, monthly salary from that. And also, I am lucky enough and very blessed to have supporters that signed up through Patreon. So on monthly basis, they would donate the money, and the money would go to the in the making of the video when it comes to equipment, probably travel expenses a little bit so that I can make more videos. Actually, by you watching, if you don't skip ads, if you actually watch the video through the whole video, it helps me so much to earn commission a little bit from YouTube on monthly basis. All right, the next question, what kind of work were you doing in China? English teaching job, if you don't know already. Okay, the next question is from Adam Saunders, another supporter from Patreon. Thank you so much. He asked, did you have any practical problems traveling to Iran? It's that normal way, not much reliable public transport. I think I would say no. It's just sometimes they have black taxi, meaning like people who operate themselves to be taxi driver and being able to helping you transport from one place to the other. And at the same time, it's actually very easy to travel around in Iran, especially in not big cities, in major cities that people travel to for the first time. So it was just because of the options that I had back then. And I think the time convenience. The last question, I think I didn't get the reason why you were leaving China, beside the fact that it was just job related. Can you explain a bit more, please, in that regard? It was just all because of job related. So I'm not really looking forward to leaving China, even though I may need a break from China. However, the only reason is first my work contract expires, which also tells the reason why. I can actually basically simply extend my contract. However, I chose not to. I've decided not to because my employer is, okay, let's say just she is a bit funny, quote unquote. A lot of things happen over the year, from a really horrible management, people management. A lot of people quit, even the Chinese employer themselves. They actually quit. If one person quit in a month, okay, that would be quite normal. But if there are 5 people live and quit in a month, So one thing that triggered me the most last year was I had to overwork so much in December due to performance and everything, and to the point where I passed out. And they were panic and everything. They drove me all the way to hospital. Long story short, a couple days later afterwards, they asked me to reimburse the money for the hospital fee, and I asked them like why, because I was exhausted because of this work that you asked me to do, and didn't have a lot of foreign teachers. That's the thing. And yeah, basically they were saying this and that, saying that no one was actually exhausted. The other was also doing the same thing, which was BS because I was the one who stayed from morning to night because we had to teach after rehearsing for like consistent of 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago, I think around that time, there was a one major disappointment, a lot of disappointment actually on daily basis, single basis, because of the management of the school. But 3 weeks ago, there was this one co-teacher, Chinese co-teacher. So it's difficult even for me to explain this because I was so upset at that time. So all of us, all the employee had to gather together for a meeting during break time. Okay, and even including Chinese foreign teachers. Now we have four foreign teachers, including me. The meeting was conducted in English, sorry, in Chinese, nothing in English, and it was not so much a meeting. It was a public assassination, which means that this Chinese co-teacher was publicly fired and publicly shamed for what she did, which was basically a minor thing or misbehaving a little bit, something like that, for whatever reason. Okay, if you want to fire someone, you should do it on a closed door, and then if you want to tell to us afterward, that'd be fine. But this was really traumatizing moment for me, to be quite honest. And I'm not saying all of other Chinese employers are like this, but it's still a common practice to experience that. And it's just really bad management because it's from top to bottom. There is no room for us to actually speak out. Like if we say something, if they ask for us our opinion, yes, they would say, okay, what's your opinion and whatnot. But at the end of the day, this employer would not want to listen, would not want to actually change. It's just her personality basically, and I don't have any hope. I just really want to get out of that toxic environment. It's not only me. Even the new foreign teachers are already like stressful enough and consider living. I would like to anyone who's watching this and who is considering to teach in China to be careful with this type of work environment. I'm sorry guys if I'm rambling a lot, if there are so many things that I keep repeating myself. It's quite difficult sometimes to record yourself in a public area, to talk to a camera by yourself. It looks weird, so it takes a lot of courage just to make this video. I would like to say thank you so much for your support, and especially for my patrons. Shout out to all of you who have been very supportive. This video is made possible by Patreon, and I would like to say thank you so much again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Make sure that you click that ring bell notification so that you are always notified when it comes to a new video. I'll see you again in my next video, and bye bye!